Right now, there is no break in the hot temps here in the Valley. And joining me is Scott Johnson of the Salvation Army Southwest Division to tell us how they are helping the community deal with this heat, which kind of like is interesting, Scott, because it's been kind of nice in a way in the evening times, but during the day, we're seeing it get very hot, not just here, but across Arizona. So that's where the Salvation Army comes in. You guys have been having some cooling stations out there, right?
Yes, the Salvation Army considers the extreme heat in Arizona a disaster response. So when there's an excessive heat warning issued by the National Weather Service, which I think we've been in since July the 1st, the Salvation Army activates 11 heat relief stations across the valley and dozens of others across the state where anybody can come in and get some hydration, get cooled off. When we have sunscreen and lip balm, hats, cooling towels, things like that available, we can help people with those as well. So we try to help as many people as we can. We also have a mobile hydration unit that goes out to areas of the valley that we've identified with high homeless populations. So for those who can't get to a cooling center, we can hopefully make them a little cooled off as well.
And you're asking the public to help out in a couple different ways. One way is to direct those people to the cooling stations, which is very important. We've been seeing homeless sitting at bus stops. We had literally sadness to say we had 2 homeless people pass away from the heat just being at a bus stop, and that's something we gotta let them know. I know it's cool underneath there, but these stations are free, aren't they?
Absolutely, they're free. And again, they're free for anybody. It can be a construction worker who's on a break. It could be somebody just, like you said, walking around, getting to a bus stop and just waiting for a bus. We always encourage people, Brad, also to check on their elderly neighbors, because there might be some that are on a fixed income that might decide not to turn on their air conditioning because they need that money to buy food or prescriptions. So if you have some elderly neighbors that don't have their AC functioning or that have decided not to run it, if you could get to them and find one of our cooling centers, which you can find at salvationarmyphoenix.org, that's a big help.
Yeah, and they all are all over the place, you said, even up north. People think, okay, Prescott, it's supposed to be cool up there, but actually for some people, that's a little warm up there for them, a little hot.
Yeah, when you're talking Prescott, Flagstaff, places like that in Pine Top, when they're getting up to, in the mid 90s, they're not used to that either. So definitely find your local Salvation Army and you can come in and get cooled off and hydrated.
Okay, you guys can't do this on your own, so you need help too. You need people with donations to come in and help out a little bit with this, don't you?
We have absolutely amazing partners that do water drives on our behalf. We have people that donate money. We have people that donate their time. That's one big thing the Salvation Army always needs, no matter what time of year it is: volunteers and donations. So if you can go on to salvationarmyphoenix.org, you can find donation opportunities and volunteer opportunities. You can also donate by texting the word HEAT to 51555, and we like to think of our donors and our corporate partners and supporters as the army behind the Salvation Army. We can't do what we do without their support.
Yeah, and I want to say this again, please, please, please check on the elderly, check on the homeless, give them directions to these, because again, some are actually very close than what people think, because they're thinking the Salvation Army in downtown or different areas, but you guys, as you said, you've opened up around the valley, up north, so it's very easy to do, and I think you made a good point. Our elderly will maybe turn on the air conditioning and then shut it off at 11 o'clock and think the house is cool, which is not good. So that's where, need to do that. And the big thing you said, anybody can come, right?
Anybody can come. It doesn't matter who you are. If you are in need of some cooling and hydration, please come to one of our cooling centers. And there's also there's about 200 around the valley that are in the heat relief network of the Maricopa Association of Government. So you can find them all around the valley.
I like what you just said there, that you guys are all coming together. So it's not just Salvation Army, it's everybody. So if someone does call you and say, hey, I'm in this area, we don't have one, you guys will say, you know what? Here's the map, or here's where to find one, which is important.
Absolutely.
So, I love this. Tell them where they can find out more about the Salvation Army and how they can do good.
So again, salvationarmyphoenix.org is our website. You can also call our Southwest Divisional Headquarters at 602-267-4100. Find all about how getting involved with the Salvation Army, not only this time of year, during the holidays, and whatever other campaigns we have going on to help people in need in our community.